Hey guys, it's Christina here, and I was just getting ready to throw some dinner together, and I wasn't going to record me because, as you can see, I am tore up right now. But you know what? Us busy moms, we get out there and you have to have dinner, and when you get home, dinner has to be done, so let's do it. I'm actually going to try to teach you this in like less than 20 minutes. This is the easiest my go-to meal when I have no time, hungry kids, and I have to do it now. All we got here is, go ahead and zoom in on there, baby, is just some peppers, onions, mushrooms. We've got some kielbasa sausage, and we have some bell peppers and some carrots and mushrooms, and just a very simple veggie meat blend. And it's gonna take us literally 20 minutes to make. Dinner's gonna be on the table. It's gonna be quick, it's gonna be fast, and let's do it. So first of all I have done here is chopped up all my vegetables, and you can chop them however you like, and you can really use any kind of vegetables that you like. This is what I had in my fridge today, so whatever you have in your fridge should probably work. I use a pretty firm vegetable, just so that way that it holds its bite. If you're gonna use zucchini or something like that, it's gonna go in last. But if you have a carrot, an onion, a bell pepper, it's gonna go in with the sausage and the mushrooms, and it's gonna saute right now, and it's gonna be fabulous. So let's watch. And you wanna hear the sizzle. And we're gonna go ahead and there's nothing in this pan here. It is just straight grill. And we're just gonna shake it around a bit, get it all mixed around. My hand is killing me. So there you go, it's just gonna sit in there. I'm gonna caramelize the bottom of it. We're gonna get a nice grill. Some of it might look burnt to you, but it won't. We're gonna deglaze the pan with some little bit of vinegar, a little bit of stock, a little bit of, I don't know, I got some beer right here, as you can see. So we're just gonna play with it, and what I have on hand is what we're gonna do, and that's what I know most of you moms do, or dads, whichever one's cooking for the night. So sauteing our vegetables. I'm gonna go ahead and get a pot of water going, and our pot of water is just gonna have a little bit of salt once it's brought to a boil. We're using spaghetti noodles. Use whatever noodles you have on hand, and we'll go from there. Now our vegetables are getting nice and caramelized. See, they're still nice and bright. We are definitely not looking to make these soft and mushy and yucky. We want a nice grill on that. If you can come over here and take a really pretty look at that, look how gorgeous that is. You got a little bit of color here. You got some bright carrots, some bright peppers. You got some caramelized onion. And so we want to deglaze the pan. And when we deglaze the pan, I was originally going to use like a white wine vinegar, or just a plain white wine, or some sort, or even a red wine works really, really well. But guess what, folks? I don't have any of that on hand, so we're gonna use my trusty old beer, because when all else fails, use beer. And we're just gonna go ahead and deglaze it a bit. We're gonna get that in there working. Get that beautiful color. We're gonna just soak that up, and I don't know, maybe like a quarter cup at least. You could put more, you could put less, but do you see the bottom of that pan? It looked burnt to you, and now it is completely deglazed. So whether you have white wine on, if you have white wine, if you had a red wine, if you have a white wine vinegar, if you have an apple cider vinegar, to be honest, it's very versatile. You can use whatever you have on hand. So busy moms, busy dads, make sure you use whatever you have on hand. After I go ahead and deglaze with the beer, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it up just a little bit, let that cook out a bit, and you can see how beautiful it looks. All I'm gonna do is add a little bit of my stewed tomatoes here, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of my homemade stock, and I freeze my stock, and then I go ahead and I put it inside of the, I freeze my stock and then go ahead and put it inside of the freezer, so that way I always have stock on hand. So you'll notice that my stock doesn't come in a box, and we'll do a stock tape soon. So let me know below if you really want to see the stock, because stock's really simple, so I did not think it was something that people are really interested in. So if you're interested in it and you want me to make some homemade stock for you, let's do it. So right now we're just gonna let the beer go ahead and, you know, cook out a bit, just about a minute or two. It does not need that long. My pan is already scorching hot. So I used my beer. Cheers, now I get to drink the rest. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our tomatoes in. Oh, and my beer's overflowing, but that's okay. And my tomatoes are not coming out. There they go. The lemon is for the end of the show because we're gonna dress it with some lemon and some Parmesan cheese, and it's gonna be beautiful. You're gonna love it. So now we're gonna finish deglazing the pan. The beer was just the start. So now we're gonna put our tomatoes in here. Look at that color and how beautiful it is. And remember, we only have spaghetti noodles on hand, so spaghetti noodles is what it gets. I'm barely gonna put a tiny bit of stock in because I just want it to build a little bit of juice, a little bit of sauce. So after I drop my noodles in, it'll have something to soak up. And remember, we're still gonna put some lemon juice over it. So a little bit of chicken stock, give or take. I just did about a cup, and we're probably not even gonna need a cup. It's actually starting to bubble a little bit to come up to a simmer. So now that it's simmering like that, we're just gonna put in a little bit of stock. We got our beer in there, we've got our stock in there, we got our vegetables in there. And remember, our vegetables is what makes all the flavor. The tomatoes, the beer, and the chicken stock, that is just to bring it all together. So remember, this is a dish that whatever you have on hand is how you're gonna do it. I make this about 10 different ways. Sometimes I make a Spanish version, what I call a white person version. Sometimes I'll do sort of like a gumbo. So whatever you have, it'll work. Just follow my directions and put it in what your own little flair, and we'll make it work. So it's coming to a boil again. Go ahead and take a look at that. Look at the juice. It's not super saucy. We are not looking for a spaghetti sauce. We're looking for flavor here. And we're gonna put our noodles in, and all the starch from our noodles, the starch from the noodles and the pasta, once we drop it, it's gonna bring it all together. We're gonna plate it, we're gonna put some lemon on it, and then we're gonna put some Parmesan cheese on it, and it's gonna be great. So, you know, and if you have a version of this, let me know. Post below, show me your version, give me a picture of it, post it, let's see, let's compare, let's have fun, guys. So, like I said, this is just a dish for us busy parents that just need to get something on the table, quick, fast, easy, and done. So let's do it. All right, so it started to simmer a lot, and you can see how beautiful it is, how great the color is in there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of thyme. And I don't measure things, so how I do it is I put it in my palm like this. And I don't know, I would say that was about half of a tablespoon, possibly almost a full one. And I rub it on in there like that because you want to wake up that thyme. And then I put that aside. In this one, I'm going to go with a little bit of cumin. Same little tiny little palmful. We're going to throw it in. That one was about a teaspoon because we don't have very much. And oops, put a little bit of pepper in there. And today I did not use my fresh garlic, and that was because today we're looking for an under 30-minute meal. So I'm just gonna go ahead with about a little bit of palmful, some garlic salt, and trust me, that's not too much. I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm not gonna add any salt into this because it is gonna be super salty already from the sausage. It releases so much salt into there that if I was to add salt, you would definitely taste it. I got a lot of salt in my Parmesan cheese. There's salt, believe it or not, inside of these stewed tomatoes here in the can. And so we are just trying to bring out the flavor, and it needs really little to zero salt. Okay, so our noodles are done. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off of here. Stir our sauce a bit. Look how beautiful that is. Doesn't it look great? Stir it around a bit. Remember, we just got my homemade chicken stock in there. We got a little bit of beer. We got our stewed tomatoes, and our chicken stock has a ton of salt. We didn't add any salt to it because of everything else. Here we've got our noodles, and I'm just gonna add a little bit at a time. And I'm gonna just stir them on in there. Look at that beautiful, beautiful dish. And then we're gonna keep adding a little more. And then at the very, very end, I've got some not even at the end, but now, just got a tiny bit of nice little starchy, salty water in there that I'm gonna add to the rest of our stuff. And like I said, you guys can use anything. I use spaghetti noodles because that's what I had on hand. So you guys use whatever you have on hand. This is gonna be beautiful. I'm just gonna let it kind of sit for a little bit. I'm gonna add half of a lemon now, mix it around. Oops, good thing I have extra tongs. Right now, we're gonna add a little bit of lemon. I hold it up so no seeds get in there. Learned that from Rachel Ray. Yes, I did. There's more sauce in there where that came from. Here's my new tongs that I use. We're gonna stir it around in there and we're gonna get it all mixed around, and it is gonna be so tasty and so fresh. You won't even know you're eating pasta. I know, we're not supposed to eat pasta every day, right guys? But what do you do? All right, so we're gonna let this come together for a minute. I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna bring up the heat just a little bit. I want that bottom to boil a little bit for me, so that way it boils, it gets the sauce going with the starch of the pasta noodles. We're gonna let it kind of medley together. I'm gonna sit it there for a little bit with the lemon juice that I just put on it. And when I'm all done, I'm gonna plate it. I'm gonna put a little rosemary on top of it, some fresh lemon juice on top of it, and then some Parmesan cheese. You can put whatever you have. If you have cilantro, it would be really nice and refreshing. If you have fresh thyme, even if you have some sage in the fridge, go ahead and just chop up a little bit. Don't over herb though, I promise. If you over herb, you'll be able to tell. So come back with me. I'm gonna plate it and you're gonna love it. We got our, I don't even know what you call this, my pasta kielbasa vegetable medley, maybe? I don't know. I call it my 30-minute, 20-minute fast minute meal to get on the table, because us parents are trying to get things on the table as fast as we can. So stay tuned. Here we go. We're gonna plate. You're gonna love it, and we're almost done. So we are all ready right now to plate. The sauce, the starchy noodles, everything. It's barely been on here for maybe 5 minutes because I bring it up to a higher heat, let it all bubble together, covered it for a second, and literally it does not take that long. These noodles are gonna soak up that sauce just immensely. So now we are gonna plate it, and this is the best and easiest part yet. You gotta take a look. Watch how beautiful. We're just gonna cover it all together. We got our kielbasa sausage, we got all of our vegetables. It is beautiful. And I'm going to take this lemon, I'm gonna squirt it all over the top of it, give it a little bit of acidity to all the tomatoes. And I'm gonna take my herbs. And I am literally just gonna put them all over the plate. And you can't really see them, but you don't need that much because rosemary is very fragrant. So I used rosemary, you use whatever you got. I've got the lemon on there, I got the rosemary on there. I'm just gonna mix it a little. So when everybody sees it, it's beautiful and yummy and flavorful and it's filling. It's got a ton of vegetables in it. It is not spaghetti sauce. It's not your average pasta. So, I'm Christina. Here's our, I don't know, I would say our 20-minute meal, 30-minute meal, whatever you choose. However, it's fast, it's easy, it's yummy, and your family will love it. My kids think it's amazing, so try it. Give me some suggestions. Maybe tell me what you would put in yours, what you did with yours, and let's go from there, guys. But this is a universal dish. You can put any vegetables, any pasta. I used beer. You could use wine. You could use red wine. You could use vinegar. You could use whatever you want. I used beer. So let's eat, guys. Last but not least, we did our vegetables. Not our vegetables. We did our herbs, and then we did our lemon juice. We can't forget cheese, people. Would any sort of pasta be the same without cheese? I doubt it. So I'm gonna cheese it right before I go ahead and set it on the table for my beautiful family. And trust me, it's not a lot of cheese. All right, dinner is served.